Hi, we're out on our range today, and once again, no, you haven't won a prize. Now, recently a viewer sent me a few types of 22 long rifle ammunition, including this Winchester Hypervelocity 22 long rifle 40 grain copper plated hollow point. It has an advertised velocity printed on the box of 1,435 feet per second. Now, to put that in perspective, CCI Mini Mag 22 long rifle 40 grain copper plated round nose has an advertised velocity printed on the box of 1,235. So they're claiming that the Winchester ammunition has a velocity that's 200 feet per second more than the Mini Mags. Now, the same viewer also sent me a couple of other types of 22 long rifle ammunition, including this CCI Velocitor 22 long rifle 40 grain copper plated hollow point and the Aguila Interceptor ammunition 22 long rifle 40 grain copper plated hollow point, both of which have advertised velocities printed on the box of well over 1,400 feet per second. So we'll shoot those ammunitions, and as a basis of comparison, we'll use the CCI 40 grain round nose and the CCI Mini Mag 36 grain hollow point, and we'll see how our hyper ammunitions compare for accuracy, penetration, hollow point expansion, and we'll see if the hyper velocity really lives up to the hype. Let's take a look. I'm going to shoot the target on your upper left from a distance of 25 yards with the Ruger 1022, which I have loaded with the CCI Mini Mag 40 grain round nose, and will use this as a basis of comparison for our hypervelocity ammunitions. And here we have a mediocre group. And it's a little bit high, but remember I zeroed the rifle at a greater distance, and this is me shooting 25 yards offhand. Now I have the 1022 loaded with the Winchester Hypervelocity 40 grain copper plated hollow point, and I'll shoot this from 25 yards at the target on your upper right, and we'll see how it compares for both size of group and location of group. Here's our group, and this shot probably is just me, but we see a good group with very little shift in our point of impact. Now I have the 1022 loaded with the CCI Velocitor, which is also a 40 grain copper plated hollow point, and I'll shoot this from 25 yards at the target on your lower left. Well, our impacts are in the same general area as our other ammunitions, but that is a very poor group. Enough so that I'm going to try that again. I'll go back 25 yards and shoot another group with this ammunition at the center target. Here we go. That is a very good group, and this one really is just me. So what was the problem here? I'm standing on uneven ground. Maybe I wasn't standing quite right. Maybe I was getting just the wrong sun glare. Maybe I was thinking about how much I like vanilla milkshakes more than strawberry. Who knows? Okay, one more type of ammunition. Now I'll shoot the target on your lower right with the Aguila Interceptor 40 grain copper plated hollow point. And let's see what kind of group I get with this. And here's the group of the Aguila ammunition, which is not bad. So the takeaways from these targets. First, remember that this is me shooting offhand at 25 yards. Taking that into consideration, I have to say that these groups are pretty good. We also see virtually no point of impact shift when we change from one type of ammunition to the other. Now, depending on your firearm choices, you might get different results, but with my 10/22, these results are very impressive. Also, the accuracy of this ammunition is very impressive. But that brings up the question, are we really going to get the velocity that's printed on the box? Let's go to the chronograph. I have the chronograph set up at about 7 yards, and I have the Ruger 10/22 loaded with the CCI Mini Mag 40 grain round nose. Let's see what kind of velocities I get. .1160, 1170, 1138, 1136, 1143, 1147, and 1160. Let's try another type of ammo. Now we'll try our CCI velocitors. This is a 40 grain copper plated hollow point, and it's got an advertised velocity printed on the box that's 200 feet per second more than the mini mags. Let's see what kind of velocity I get. .1305, 1303, 1252, 1291, 1323, 1136, 1301, and 1015. Now, did you hear how underpowered that round sounded? I could certainly hear it, and I could absolutely feel it, and the chronograph confirms that. That was so underpowered that if it hadn't given me a chronograph reading, I'd be checking the barrel right now. So although we see good velocity, I gotta say this ammunition seems a little inconsistent. But let's try another type of ammo. Now let's try our Aguila Interceptor ammunition, which is also a 40 grain copper plated hollow point, and the advertised velocity printed on this box is 1470. Let's see how we do. .1357, 1285, 1271, 1301, 1330, 1277, 1272. And 1240. Let's try one more type of ammo. And now our Winchester Hypervelocity, which is also a 40 grain copper plated hollow point with an advertised velocity printed on the box of 1435. Let's see how we do with this. $12.94. $11.02. $12.18. $12.65. $12.56. $12.05. $12.55. And $12.26. Let's go crunch the numbers. Okay, we do have to test one more type of ammunition. This is our CCI Minimag 36 grain copper plated hollow point. Let's see what kind of velocities I get with this. $11.83. $12.06. $11.71. $11.81. $11.91. $11.71. And $11.70. Now let's go crunch the numbers. Well, I crunched the numbers, and here's the results we got with the 1022. And of course, it comes with the normal caveats that chronographs don't always agree with each other, and certain environmental factors like ambient temperature and elevation can affect chronograph results. It also comes with the caveat that with our CCI velocitors, we had that one round that was really underpowered. I considered that defective, and I left it out of the computation of our mean velocity. Okay, so the results we got were, with the CCI Minimag 40 grain, a mean velocity of 1150. With the CCI velocitors, a mean velocity of 1273. That's 123 feet per second more. That's a lot more, but still far short of the velocity that was printed on the box. Now with our Aguila, we got 1291, which again sounds impressive, but that's only 18 feet per second more than we got with the velocitors. Well within the variation of one round to the next, not enough difference to make a difference. Now our Winchester ammunition got a really disappointing result at 1227. That's 77 feet per second more than the CCI Minimags. That was disappointing enough that off camera I shot another string with this ammunition, got the same results. Now our CCI Minimag 36 grain hollow point, that's a 36 grain projectile, all the rest are 40s. We would expect this to have a little higher velocity, and that's what we got in the sense of a mean velocity of 1181, which is 31 feet per second more than we got with the CCI Minimag 40 grain, but still far short of our other high performance 22 ammunitions. Now let's see how our ammunitions do in a pistol. And the pistol I'm using is this Ruger Mark III with a 6-inch barrel. And we'll start with our CCI 40 grain round nose. $1,003. $1,013. $1,032. $1,043. $1,040. $1,060. Let's try another type of ammo. And now our CCI Velocitor 40 grain copper plated hollow point. $1,059. $1,065. 1,085. 1,067. 1,065. And 1,067. Let's try another type of ammo. And now our Aguila Interceptor ammunition. $11.38. $11.28. $11.62. $11.55. $11.73. And $11.57. Let's try another type of ammo. Winchester Hypervelocity 40 grain copper plated hollow point. $1,011. $1,049. $1,030. $1,008. $1,042. $971. $1,019. And $1,028. Okay, one more type of ammo. And finally, CCI Minimag 36 grain hollow point. $1,056. $1,075. Duplicate 1,075. $11.03. $11.06. $1,033. And $11.39. Now let's go crunch those numbers. Now here's the results we got with the Ruger Mark III pistol in its 6-inch barrel. With the CCI Minimags with a 40 grain bullet and mean velocity of 1031, with the CCI Velocitors a velocity of 1068, that's 37 feet per second more. The Aguila Interceptors 1152, that's 84 feet per second more than the Velocitors. With our Winchester ammunition, a very disappointing 1019. And with our CCI Minimag 36 grain, we got 1083. We would expect it to have a little higher velocity than its 40 grain equivalent, and it is. It's 52 feet per second more. It's also 15 feet per second more than the CCI Velocitors. However, 15 feet per second more is within the variation of one round to the next, not enough difference to make a difference. And remember, it achieves that with a 36, not a 40 grain bullet. But the bottom line to all of this is, as I've said so many times, all of these with the pistol and the rifle are just numbers on a page. How will they translate into effectiveness on the intended target? Let's see if we can put that to the test. To test the effectiveness of our ammunition, I'm going to use the meat target. And for those who haven't seen it before, the meat target is leather couch skin, followed by pork steak, pectorals, pork ribs, a bag of oranges to simulate lung tissue, more pork ribs on the back, 4 layers of t-shirt on the front, 4 layers of t-shirt on the back, and the whole thing followed by the new and improved high-tech fleece bullet stop. And I'm going to shoot this from 25 yards with the Ruger 1022. And I'll shoot the lower half of the meat target with the CCI Minimag 36 grain hollow points, and the upper half of it with the Winchester Hypervelocity 40 grain hollow points. And let's see how the two ammunitions compare. We've got our meat target taken apart, and looking at the ribs on the front of the target, we can see that the mini mags and the Winchester hypervelocity both did pretty good damage. Looks like the Winchester just did a little more damage. Now, as far as the orange lung tissue, if we look at the damage done by our mini mags, it's pretty good. But again, it looks like the Winchester just did significantly more damage. And as far as penetration, none of the mini mag rounds made it to the ribs on the back of the target. They were all in the bag of oranges. The Winchester ammunition, one round actually made it through the ribs on the back of the target, and the rest were all stopped by the ribs on the back of the target. So with the Winchester ammunition, we're seeing more damage and more penetration. Now let's take a close-up look at the projectiles. Here's our Winchester projectiles, and we see very good expansion and a significant amount of fragmentation. Now here's our CCI Mini-Mag projectiles, and we also see good expansion and even more fragmentation. Now we have a new meat target set up, and I'll shoot this with the Ruger 1022 from 25 yards, and I'll shoot the upper half with the Aguila Interceptors and the lower half with the CCI Velocitors, and let's see what kind of results we get. We have our meat target taken apart, and in looking at the ribs on the front of the target, we see that our Aguilas and our CCIs both did some pretty good damage. Looks like the Aguila ammunition may have done a little bit more. Now, as far as our orange lung tissue, our CCI Velocitors did some pretty good damage. But again, it looks like our Aguila ammunition may have done a little bit more. Now, as far as penetration, all of our CCI ammunition were stopped by being stuck in the ribs on the back of the target. Our Aguila ammunition completely penetrated the meat target, and all the projectiles were stopped by the t-shirt on the back of the target. But let's take a close-up look at these projectiles. Here's our Aguila projectiles, and we can see that 2 of them have fairly good expansion. The other 3 have very little to no expansion, and that might explain why they had more penetration than the CCI ammunition did. However, by contrast, here's our CCI projectiles, and we can see that one has virtually no expansion. Now, I don't know if you could hear it, but I could hear it and I could feel it when I fired it. One of these was very underpowered. I presume it was this one. The others all have very good expansion, which may explain why they had a little less penetration than the Aguila projectiles did. Now, one more thing to add. I shot the meat target with the rifle, not the pistol, because these ammunitions gave me the impression they were designed for hunting, and a rifle would be used more often than a pistol. We can also take it as axiomatic that if the Aguila ammunition did not give us good hollow point expansion when fired at rifle velocities, then we wouldn't get good hollow point expansion fired at pistol velocities. And on previous occasions, I have used the pistol to shoot the meat target with the CCI Minimag 36 grain hollow point, which we did get good hollow point expansion, so there was no need to repeat that here. Okay, the takeaways from all of this. First, remember that chronographs don't always agree with each other. The results that I get here today may not be the same results that someone else somewhere else gets on a different day. Hopefully other people in this format will do similar comparisons, and you can put all of those together for a better big picture. But what we really got from this, we saw that when you go from rifle length barrel to pistol length barrel, you lose velocity, of course. But did you see that our ammunitions did not lose velocity uniformly? Some lost a lot more than others. We also saw that our Aguila ammunition, even though it was the highest velocity, did not give us good hollow point expansion. And you have to take all of those things into consideration, what firearm you're using and what purpose for which you're using it, when making your ammunition selection. So, as always, don't try this at home on what you call a professional, and thanks for watching the Hypervelocity 22 long rifle ammunition video.